All right, welcome to View from the Pits, the show where we talk about casinos. I am Mark Rahala. To my left over there is Wade Lescourt, and joining us today is Katie Kohler. And before we start, everybody, cheers.
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 All right, Katie is an award-winning journalist, and she covers gambling primarily in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, a lot of casinos are open up around me, have opened up in Pennsylvania. Atlantic City is set to open up around July 2nd. I think Parks is June 29th. And I recently got a call, be ready, but no date. So you might be privy to some things that I'm not, Katie. Do you know anything that I need to know?
Well, the only casino that doesn't have a reopening date yet is Rivers, Philadelphia.
That's me. Now, I read something that you wrote that you took like a little mini tour throughout the state. A couple. So what did you see, and what should we expect? First of all, were the crowds controlled? Were they like 25%? Were they 50%?
So when I first got out there, they gave me the media tour of Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh, and the general manager, Bill Keena, really looked tired. And I didn't mean that in a mean way. He just looked tired in a way of a man that has 1,500 employees that were out of work, and he has to bring back to work with all new safety protocols. There were a few employees there, and you could tell that they were keeping count of how many people were coming, that the elevators weren't getting crowded. And then when I got to the gaming floor, there was a number of employees monitoring it.
Let me stop you there. When you were on you took the elevator down?
I did.
Were there like 4 people, one to a corner?
No, it was just me on the elevator.
Oh, okay.
They did have social distancing spots on the elevator.
Okay.
That was in each corner. And I personally don't think you can social distance on an elevator. I just don't think it's possible.
Everybody's got to turn their back and look in the corner.
Well, once I got to the entrance of the gaming floor, there were employees there. They were all wearing masks or face shields. It seems like a face shield is the PPE of choice for casino employees. And having worn one myself, it is more comfortable.
I think it's easier to book bets that way too. You know, it is. Your voice is more clear.
Were these just employees at the casino, or were there players at the casino?
This was on Tuesday morning. So this was the casino's grand opening to the public.
So there were players.
For a Tuesday morning, a pretty good crowd of people. It definitely, Rivers Pittsburgh is it's a big casino. It wasn't at 50% capacity. It was below that. But what I noticed was everybody was wearing masks, and the employees were all wearing masks. The social distancing was as good as I've seen it anywhere. All the dealers, I would say most of them did have face shields. And it was clean. There are times that you go to a place, and maybe this is made because of how my mother and my grandmother were, and how we had to like deep scrub the house every Saturday. But you just got the feeling that this place had a deep clean.
They had 3 months to do it, right?
They had 3 months to do it.
Well, and in the past, I've been to a lot of casinos that aren't really clean, right? Because there's so many people, and they just can't, right? So yeah, I wonder how they're going to keep that cleanliness up.
Well, they said they were going to close from 3 a.m. to 6 or 7 a.m. to start out with, to kind of those off-peak hours to do a deeper cleaning. You'll see more hand sanitizing stations, more environmental services team going around and cleaning. And that was definitely prominent. I talked to some of the employees there, and, they were like, it's gotten busier since we opened the door. Apparently they open around 8 a.m. and they said, we've been getting busier by the hour.
Nobody was waiting to get in?
There were some people waiting to get in. when they first opened, but there was no one waiting in a queue outside. They had a queue outside, but since they weren't at capacity yet, they didn't use it.
Let me ask you this. I read an article that you wrote about, I think it was, think of your slot playing grandma.
Yes.
Like when you gamble, be respectful. Like if it's your grandmother, you want them to treat her with respect, right? Wear your mask. You think people are going to do that, continue to do that?
People were being very respectful of the rules. I didn't see anyone make a fuss about wearing a mask or act up in any way. It was a Tuesday. It wasn't a Saturday at 11.
Right.
And people might be a little bit more ornery.
Right.
The people I talked to were like, I've been home for 3 months. I'm bored. I need to do something. I'm getting stir crazy.
Right. Well, I'm sure you heard about, I think it was in Arizona, a couple casinos closed back down because they had cases. And I've heard that there's been a couple reported cases in Pennsylvania casinos. Do you think a Pennsylvania casino, once open, will ever close again?
I really defer to the doctors, to the scientists on this.
Let's move on to another story you wrote about. You're reimagining casinos.
Yes.
You think there's going to be a reservation system? You think you got to reserve a seat? You think I'm going to play blackjack? Can you give me a seat at 1 o'clock? Is that what you were meaning when you were writing this story?
Well, Wind Creek is opening, I believe, on Monday, and they are doing that.
Really? How?
Wind Creek in Bethlehem, it isn't the only way you can go and play, but it is an option that if you don't want to, and they were one of the first people, the first casinos to say, here is how we plan on reopening. And their CEO said, one of the things we're going to do is a reservation system, which is you go online and you say, I want to come between this time and play this game.
Well, but that might be a good way to get into the casino. But as a player, I can tell you I may want to go play on a craps table and reserve a spot on the craps table, but that's not the only game I'm going to want to play. And so I'm going to want to move to blackjack at some point. And so it can't be an only reservation only option, but it could be a way to get into the casino.
And you don't want to give your seat up if you're on a roll, right? You got to give up because someone at 1 o'clock. You got to get up. I don't think so.
No, but you saw me lay down, Mark, $400 in one blackjack hand the first hand I played, right? I mean that, and then I'm done, right? So if I'm done, I may want to go someplace else, So it's if I'm hot, I'm not going to leave, but I'm going to want to move around the casino.
Yeah. Well, how about another thing you wrote about was cashless payments. And I've been reading a little bit about that, cashless payments. Yes. How do you think that's going to work? You think you take your credit card at the table? Here, give me $500 worth of chips on my Visa?
I think eventually it was going to happen. I think coronavirus just hastened its arrival. So they're trying different things and seeing what works. The cashless payment, I really don't see a lot of people use cash that much anymore. So if I can go to the casino and they scan my barcode at each table that I already loaded and I don't have to touch anything, I think for younger people, they would really like that. My question was, how would you tip the dealer?
Very important.
If it's cashless, how would you tip your server?
Oh, chips, I guess.
Well, I don't want to. So I would use cashless to get chips, but I wouldn't want to. I mean, I wouldn't want to use cashless to bet. I want chips to bet. So I would bet. I would tip the dealer with chips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I want to have chips to play.
Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to come on this show and tell their story, whatever on your mind, ask questions, contact me, Mark, at viewfromthepits.com.
Thanks
Katie.
Bye.
See you, Wade.
Guys. Thank you.